Hey folks, Quilly here, and welcome to a video about Mechabellum and the 1.0 release, which is happening on September the 26th, which should be the day this video goes live. I will note this video has been sponsored by Paradox, who are the publishers of this game. Not the developers, but the publishers. And you can find a link down below for more information on this game and where you can get it. Now that that stuff is out of the way, let me tell you what I really think about Mechabellum. I freaking love this game. I play it every single week with my friends without fail. I absolutely love this. So this is basically sort of, it's an auto battler with giant robots, but it's not like any other auto battler. It feels a lot more like, it's very chess-like is what it feels like to me. It's hard to explain. There are a variety of different modes that you can play in. I am on the closed beta server, so there's no one playing right now. If I wasn't playing on the closed beta build, there'd be lots of games visible over here, which I could also spectate if I want to. I could watch other people play. But you can see here the main modes that you play against other players. 1v1, highly competitive. 2v2, survival mode, which is versus AI here, and 4-player brawl. And here's the thing. I played a bunch of 1v1 when this originally hit early access, really loved it, convinced my friends to play with me, and this is when we started playing. Every Tuesday is my board game night. Every Tuesday before we start board gaming, we go and do several rounds of Mechabellum, and sometimes suddenly the entire night is gone. Each game of Mechabellum is super short. Like you're gonna be burning through it in like 15, 20 minutes, probably shorter than 1v1, honestly. And so we would play 2v2s, and sometimes the entire night would just be us playing back-to-back 2v2s. And then a couple of months ago, I don't remember exactly when, this 4-player Brawl Mode dropped, and I adore it. So I can't show you gameplay against another player, although I have recently played a wonderful series of brawl matches against Provis, Lathe, and Ambiguous Amphibian, and so some of that footage might be intercut over here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go solo mode and play against the AI, which is fine. If you're just starting out the game, it'll probably be challenging, and hopefully you'll overcome it, and then you'll be like, yeah, I'll go play against some humans, and you'll realize that, woo, things are very different there. I will show you, so let's start off by showing you the regular sort of 1v1 experience. I'll play a couple rounds of 1v1 and demonstrate how that goes, how that feels. We won't play a full round, it's going to be, or a full game. We'll just give you a bit of a sense of it. So first we're going to be presented with a choice of what specialists to play as, which are going to be paired with some starting units as well. You'll notice these choices all have different hit points. This is one of the ways they can use to balance these starting choices in addition to tweaking some of the numbers. So what these specialists do won't necessarily be clear to you, right? The elite specialist starts with 100 extra supply, that's money, and you can recruit rank 2 units. Normally you recruit them at rank 1, so elite specialists, you recruit them higher up. And then this can be balanced by the developers by tweaking how many supplies this starts with, also how many hit points they start with, but also these units here, this is random. The elite specialist in this game I'm being presented, starts with steel balls and fangs, but next time around, they might be something like crawlers and mustangs, for example, as their starting units. And that will have a different hit point pool as well, because they're constantly tracking the win and loss rates of different combinations of things and can tune these hit points constantly. The amount of sort of balance patches, like every single week, there's little tweaks to the game constantly being made. The developers are so watching the meta, and as things shift, we'll keep tweaking the numbers back and forth, sometimes going up, sometimes going down, really just trying to keep that balance. And the thing is, because the balance will change, right? As new tactics are developed, every time they introduce a new unit to the game, the balance changes radically, which has kept this game so fresh throughout. Tell you what, let's go aerial specialist. I'll use it as an excuse to show off some flying units, which is quite cool. We'll start with tarantulas and marksmen, which are going to be lovely. So we're going to do that. Now, normally, you do have a limited amount of time. Against the AI, you get 10,000 seconds. So, kind of unlimited amount of time, really. Against a human player, I think you have maybe 30 seconds to choose your specialist. And then most rounds, I think you have about 90 seconds to decide what you're going to do to deploy. So when you first get your units, you can choose where you're going to deploy them. So I can put them wherever I want over here on my battlefield. I can do whatever I want over there. I've also got $200 over here that I can use to purchase new units. I can also unlock new unit blueprints. Let's get back to that in a second. My opponent over here, they are starting, so I can check to see, okay, they're Typhoon Specialist. On round 3, they're going to get a free unit called a Typhoon, and that will be added to their battlefield. It'll also unlock the blueprint for the Typhoon automatically. And I think a Typhoon is a rare unit, and it's not available to unlock naturally. So my opponent's going to have access to Typhoons. I will not. Okay, they've also got crawlers. Crawlers are very small fast-moving melee units. They are the ultimate sort of chaff unit. They are very distracting because there's a lot of them and they move quickly. They can occupy your big, powerful units and make your life really annoying. They've also got steel balls over here. Steel balls are relatively short-range units with sort of laser beams that start off weak and then grow in power as they focus on a single target. These guys are really good at taking out larger units. The steel balls are actually going to be the real bane over here. Tarantulas have decent splash damage, and so, well, they have a 5-meter splash range, which isn't huge, but will do a pretty good job against the crawlers. The real problem will be the steel balls that will do a really amazing job at obliterating the tarantulas. The marksmen will do okay against the steel balls. The marksmen are snipers, relatively long range, slow firing, but lots of damage. So right now my rank 1 marksman hits for 2,300 damage. If we look at the steel ball, they got 4,500 hit points, so 2 shots from a marksman will take out a steel ball. But they don't fire very quickly. So yeah, we have to decide what we're going to do over here. We can actually counter this to a certain extent fairly well with our own crawlers. Because, I mean, crawler v crawler obviously is fairly even, but our crawlers will be backed up by tarantulas, which are really good at killing crawlers. And steel balls are meant for single target. I think that's our best move. I'm going to unlock crawlers. Crawlers are free. Although, hold on, I'm an aerial specialist. Normally, wasps, phoenixes, overlords, these things cost money to unlock. Except since I'm an aerial specialist, my aerial units unlock their blueprints for free. They also get extra damage, more hit points. That's very interesting because none of my opponent's units shoot up. Now, they might unlock a new blueprint for a unit that does shoot up, especially if they know that I'm an aerial specialist and they can know shenanigans can happen. I think I'm going to embrace the shenanigans. I'm going to unlock wasps because they'll do very good early on. They're not sort of long-term power units really, but they're going to do an excellent job right now of ripping things through. I'm not saying this is the best move. The best move may in fact be plop down a couple of rounds, a couple of packs of crawlers. But I'm going to do this because it'll be kind of interesting. So I'll spend the 200 to actually deploy the wasps. And then let's figure out what kind of structure we want here. Tarantulas and marksmen are fairly slow-moving units. The AI might end up going very asymmetrical. I don't know. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy tarantulas sort of in front of each tower. I'm going to put the marksmen a little further back because they do have long range, and especially with some range upgrades, they will do ridiculous things. I'll put you kind of back here. And then I'll put the wasp a little further back because they actually move quite quickly. Let's go here. No. Maybe, you know what? I'll put him right here. And I'm hoping that the timing is going to work out great. I don't know exactly how far forward and back the AI is going to develop these units. Okay, so kind of an asymmetrical structure, although not entirely one-sided. So yeah, shooting these guys. The marksmen, we don't really like it when they're shooting the crawlers because it's ridiculous overkill. You can see the laser beams just absolutely ripping through there. But yeah, none of their stuff shoots up. So even if I lose everything else, my wasp will win this round. Although, you know, it won't be fantastic. So what's the deal with winning and losing rounds? You saw that our character had hit points. What happens at the end of the round, whichever side still has units remaining, will deal hit point damage to the other player. Once a player reaches 0, that's game over. So we're going to do this. And the wasps are also going to get XP. You get XP every time you kill. There you go. Oh, really? We just shy. Oh, no, there it is. It did get there. Excellent. So the wasp got enough XP to level up. Every round, you also get a reinforcement card. Sometimes it's a card that gives you extra units, like this is what's going to happen now. If we pick this card, it's going to be 1 Fire Badger that starts at rank 2, 1 Sledgehammer at rank 2, 1 Sabertooth at rank 2, or 3 Fangs at rank 1. I think the Fangs are going to be an excellent pick here for several different reasons. So we're going to do this. We're going to get 3 squads of Fangs. Fangs are tiny, wimpy dudes, but they're great chaff. If I go and throw them up over here, what's going to be great about this is there's lots of dudes shooting. They only hit for 61, but these crawlers on the other side don't have that many hit points. So these guys don't have splash damage, but they're going to fire fairly quickly, and there's enough of them that they're going to do a pretty good number against the crawlers. And then the crawlers, as they move forward, then they'll also engage the tarantula, or the tarantula will engage them and do some pretty decent damage. These fangs will also occupy the steel balls in a way that's going to be really helpful for us. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to deploy another fang over here. I'm going to space them out a little so we have room to maybe put something else in between. And over here, I'm going to go a little further back. What's the speed? The fangs move at a 6, the tarantulas at an 8. Okay, never mind. I'll put them forward like this. I have enough money. I could give the tarantulas a range upgrade, but I don't know that I'm going to want to buy more tarantulas. So your units, in addition, so we're going to show off actually here. The wasps can be promoted. I'm going to hit promote. They're now rank 2. Their damage and their hit points have gone up. They hit a lot harder and they're tougher. They're tougher, so they're likely to survive longer and therefore get even more shots off. So you get this multiplicative effect by ranking your units up, which is really good. You also, they were at max XP. If you're ready to level up, any other kills, the XP is just going to be wasted, so it's kind of nice to use it. But the other thing you can do with your money is purchase these tech upgrades. Now, these tech upgrades are shared with all units of this type. So if I were to go and give the Tarantula, say, this armor-piercing bullet, the only thing I can afford, both of my Tarantulas will get that. Or I have 3 Fangs, I could go and hit Ignite, and all my units of Fangs will have Ignite over here, which is why you kind of sort of want to specialize in just a few units that you're working on mass so that you can take the most advantage of this. But it's all about counters. What do I think my opponent's going to do here? Well, I don't know how the AI is going to think. If this was a human opponent, what kind of thing would they build? I don't know. And they're trying to guess what I'm going to develop on my side. And, oh, those reinforcement cards, both of us got the same thing. So they might also go with all the Fangs, or they might go with something else altogether. Who knows? I would love to give the range upgrade to my marksman, but I don't have quite enough cash. I could take out a loan, overhit the tower, the rapid resupply. There's these buttons here. There's ability to hire more units. Normally you can only hire 2 units per round, but you could increase that. Normally they come in at rank 1, but we can make them rank 2. If we were elite specialists, then this would be redundant. We can also, for a single round, increase the range of all our units, for example. And there's some more buttons over here that we can do. Making these decisions is not simple, and it's brilliant. Like, it's fairly easy to understand what any one thing does. But the combination, the implications, the strategy, trying to figure out what your opponent is doing. We remember where their units were last round, and you can't move new units, or you can't move old units. So my Tarantula over here can't be moved again. These guys with green squares, these are my new Fangs, they can still be moved. There are abilities you can get that occasionally allow you to move some units, but generally speaking, it's static. So we know the general layout my opponents can have, but what are they buying this turn? What are they doing? I'm trying to, like, you do this, well, I know that they know that I know that they know that I know that they know kind of thing with it. I think I'm going to invest in some more Fangs. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And while I think it's an extremely bad financial idea, I also want to show off something else in this case, which is the Sentry Missile. So these things are sort of one-shot things, although technically the shield generator and the missile interceptor, if they're not destroyed, they will stick around for multiple rounds. The missile is definitely one shot. I'm going to put it here. I'm not saying this is a good idea. We're going to deploy a missile. When the round starts, this missile will automatically trigger in this radius. Boom. And we'll blast some units. Was it worth spending 50 on that? Maybe I should have saved it. Again, very situational. Hard to say one size fits all. They've invested in considerably more crawlers, which the Fangs do okay against. And especially since the Fangs, if nothing else, they're there to soak up a little bit of damage versus Tarantula. Although, okay, we are going to be overwhelmed over there. They still, oh, they did invest in their own Fangs. They might have gotten the 3 Fangs thing. We're going to kill their tower. Killing the tower, first of all, is good XP for whichever unit kills it. But it also does this electromagnetic pulse. You can see these guys are all sparkly. They are moving slower, they shoot slower, they take bonus damage from everything, and they deal less damage. So blasting a tower, mine's about to go, but I'm also going to get theirs. They're going to do mine first, which is going to slow down our ability to kill this one, unfortunately. There we go. Their tower went down, and we're going to rip through them. We'll definitely win the round. And the AI might kick your butt when you're learning the game, but you will exceed it fairly quickly over here. That's why they call it practice. And there we go. And then we've got some more things. Some of these are abilities, so this is a missile strike over here. I can use this every 2 rounds. It's got a cooldown. This modifies steel balls if I had any. I mean, I could get this and then start investing in steel balls, giving them extended range. Efficient tech research. So it cost me 100. Technically, it cost me 150 because you can skip this card and get 50 bucks. So it's effectively costing me 150 to get this, but it decreases the cost of tech upgrades by 50. So as long as I do more than 3 tech upgrades, I'll come out ahead on this. Although then there's the whole idea of like, yeah, but it might take me 2, 3, 4 rounds to make use of this. Maybe I'd like the money ahead of time. Here, again, for the 100 plus the 50 effectively, another deployment slot so I can deploy 3 units per round. Here, I think I'll just go ahead and, well, you know what? I'll take the missile strike to showcase the ability. It's over here on the right. So you get these various abilities, and then I can deploy them and say, listen, tell you what, and it takes a little while to land. I'll put a missile strike, say, there, and we'll see if that works out. And then what we'll do is I'm going to showcase another mode. I'm going to showcase the Brawl, which is my personal favorite. I did promote this Tarantula, which is okay. I think if I'm going to use Marksman, and I like Marksman quite a bit, I'm going to give them, oh, you know what I'm going to do? Perfect. I have just enough money. I'm going to give the Fangs a portable shield over here to give them substantially more hit points. The shields also guarantee you don't get one shot, which isn't really relevant which one I'm facing. But I've got lots of fangs, and I think we're going to build more. And shield is one of the better upgrades for them, because the whole thing with fangs is they're just really good at absorbing damage. There you go. My missile strike went and landed. The fangs are there to sort of absorb damage from my other units. Okay, they do have typhoons. Right, they're typhoon specialists. So these typhoons have these Gatling guns over here, which also have splash damage. So they fire fast with a little bit of splash. They're really good at killing small units. They can also shoot up, so they're doing a big number on my wasps. Now, the marksmen do pretty good against typhoons, but we're still getting overwhelmed on this rank over here. And again, I was just clicking on some things and making some unoptimal choices just to be able to showcase some various things. If I were to lose to the insane AI at this point in a real match, it would be pretty appalling. But we lost a round anyway and took some damage over there, and clearly we're going to have to deal with this. It looks like there's mostly a lot of small dudes. We might want to do something about that. I can increase the damage of my sentry missiles, which is that button. We could use another ability like Acid Blast. Subsidized crawlers is really interesting. So crawlers cost $100 to deploy. They cost 50 to promote from rank 1 to 2 to 3, etc. This actually makes them promote for free. They still need to get the XP, but it's kind of interesting. So okay, so that's the sort of 1v1 mode. Now let me showcase the Brawl, which is my favorite. Ever since they dumped it out, me and my friends, that's what we do. If we go, oh right, I can't do it here. What I have to do, there's not just a solo mode for Brawl, but I can create a multiplayer room. I'll have it be by invitation only. I'm gonna set up a Brawl room. Okay, and then I'm just gonna add a bot to these slots. There we go. Just because I want to showcase this. We're not going to do a full game of this. I just want to showcase what Brawl Mode is and why it's so incredibly enjoyable. If, like me, you sometimes suffer from ladder anxiety, you're a little bit nervous about the 1v1 experience. Again, there's no micromanagement involved. I mean, you can't take too long deciding what units to buy and where to place them, but you don't actually have to be very quick. Brawl, oh, and this, because it's not an actual versus AI mode, I do have limited time here, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful. What other units could I show off this time that we didn't see? Tell you what, I'll go the Elite Specialist just to show off the Arc Light and the Steel Balls. I'm not necessarily picking it because it's strongest. No, we have 0 hit points. The game works very differently over here. 4-player Brawl, so these little places over here, this is where each player is playing. And in the middle, there's a bunch of AI units. Now, again, I've got bots, right? I'm versus bots. We are playing against each other. But let's pretend these are all humans, even though there's bots. So it's 4 humans. There's some AI units in the middle. Let me try to deploy some stuff over here. I'm going to go and invest in a couple more arc lights. And we're going to... Oh, gosh. You know what? I think we're going to do... 3, 4. 1 second. I'll start talking again, I promise. Okay, I'm going to keep these 2 together. I'm going to use my mobile beacon, which is also going to pick up some guys, but that's going to be okay. We'll do something like this. All right, I'll let the time tick down over here. So this still works kind of similarly. If you're the person with units standing at the end of a round, then rather than inflicting damage to your opponents, you score that many points. So we've started at 0 points. By default, and you can change this when you set up a game, by default, the first player to 8,000 points wins. Alternatively, on round 10 is the last round. At the end of round 10, if no one has 8,000 points, then whoever has the most points wins. Again, very fast paced. You get points by having units remaining. You also get points for killing AI units, not your opposing units, but AI units, you get points for killing them. You also get more money. You get money from having killed the AI units over here. And again, you don't get it from killing your opponents, like the other players, but you still get XP from that. Arc lights are ranged units with a little bit of splash, and you can see I'm getting little chunks of money as we kill them. And I'm using my mobile beacon over here to encourage my steel balls to go and take these towers. These towers are going to be worth money. I think they're worth 50 the first round. They go up by 10 every single round and cap out at 100 as their value. But getting extra money, you can see how much money everyone has earned over here. Getting this money is going to be incredibly useful for buying more units and snowballing. But the most interesting thing about this mode is their anti-snowball feature. Because here's the thing, if you start off with the best unit composition and you kill more of the AI units and get some of these towers, then you're going to end up with the most money. Actually, red over here's got the most money. And if you've got the most money, then you're going to buy more units, so you're going to become more powerful. Then, therefore, you're going to kill more units and take more towers and get more money and get more powerful. And I mean, you want to reward players for doing well, certainly. And in this case, the reward is you're going to end up with more points and therefore more likely to win. But there's kind of a catch-up mechanism in here. Is not for the first few rounds. I think it starts on round 4, maybe round 5. At that point, whichever player is in the lead, the AI wave that's in front of them becomes insanely difficult. Now, if you can manage to kill them, it's going to be worth a lot of money. But if you don't, you're going to just suffer. And it's great. The hilarious thing about this game is in this mode, people will curse getting into the lead, which is hilarious to me. Okay, so this wave here, there's going to be a Wraith. This is a flying unit that does good ground splash damage. Currently have nothing that shoots up, although I may have the upgrade for the arc lights that has anti-air. No, there are more. So there's 4 upgrades over here, 4 techs that you can go and give your units. There's actually more than that exists. You can choose which ones to slot in. Some units might have, say, 6 different ones. Some might have like 8 or 9 different upgrades available, but you can only slot in 4 at a time. Although the war factory can do 6, but anyway, so you can choose from your combo. There is an upgrade for the arc light that allows you to shoot up. I don't have that slotted, so we're not going to do that. Steel balls do not shoot up. We need something that can kill this. We could do it with wasps, but the thing is, the Wraith is actually good at generating splash damage. I think what I'm going to do is get a single rank 3 Phoenix and use it sort of sniping. It moves fairly quick. I'll put it right behind the steel balls, and I will move it over here. It's gonna, you can see where it's going to beeline. This also unlocks the blueprint. I'm going to go and get another Phoenix. We are the elite specialists, so they're coming in fairly high rank. And then I'm kind of broke. Do I want to give an upgrade? Do I want to get another arc light? I don't know that I do. I'm gonna unlock the Overlord. And do I get a sentry missile? Yes. Okay. I don't know if that was wide, but we're going to do it anyway. So I unlock the Overlord. So yeah, these Stormcallers here, they are really good at doing damage to ground units. They actually do a fair amount of decent ground damage and splash at the same time. They have problems dealing with fast-moving units. If I just had some crawlers, which move super fast, they would have tried to shoot at them, but the crawlers would have moved out earlier. But we've got our Phoenixes over here, which are going to clear this. Excellent. Wonderful. And then we can see how our opponents are doing. Oh, these guys went for the Wasps, which actually will do a good number against my Phoenixes. Wasps are much weaker than Phoenixes, but Phoenixes are mostly like one-target snipers over here. And so the Wasps will be able to just swarm over them. How are my units? There you go. Over here. Oh, they got taken out by Marksman. There you go. Again, Marksman and Phoenixes are both kind of sniper-type units. Marksman only on the ground, or they're only ground units. They can shoot up, but they tend to usually have slightly longer range, I believe, than the Phoenixes. So there's sort of... Marksman often will be Phoenixes, although because there's an aim time and a shooting time, a lot of times one Phoenix will take out one Marksman, just by virtue of the fact that the Phoenix will get a shot off before it dies. All right, round 3. I do have lots of money, which is great. Can increase the Phoenix's range over here. Decrease their attack, but give them range. Oh, Smart Marksman is great. Increase the XP growth rate by 75%. If we had Marksman, I would grab this and go en masse Marksman. And a few other things. Redeploy to move units. I'm just going to skip this. I'm going to pick up the Overlord because it's quite cool to look at. I'm going to grab the Overlord. Oh, I'm in the lead, and I'm getting a Death Knell over here, which is going to really spank me, and I don't love that. Let's give my Overlord extended range. And I'll move you up a little over here. Man, Death Knell is actually, it is really bad news. You know what? I'll put it a little further back. Sure, I'll promote the Steel Ball. And I'm going to do this. This will probably be the last round we play, just to showcase this. But this mode is so fun with friends because you're not directly competing, but your units are definitely going to interact. It's like one of the things with board games. There's a lot of amazing board games out there that are sort of engine builders, very tactical, very strategic, but some of them suffer from not being all that interactive. Each player is sort of just looking down at their section of their board, their player aids, and just doing their own thing and not really interacting too much. The problem with a lot of the more interactive board games is a lot of times they tend to be sort of screw you board games, where you're being aggressive versus one another. And that's not always fun either, right? So where's the middle? And some board games get it exactly right, where there's the right level of interaction with other players to make it feel like a social game, but without feeling like you're constantly screwing each other over. And I think that's what I love the most about the Brawl mode over here is that kind of interaction. Although 2v2 is also fun because you got a partner and it's different and it's just exquisite fun. I gotta say, like the 1v1 is a strategic masterpiece. I love these multiplayer modes to play with my friends. It's just wonderful. I'm going to skip all these so we can just sort of take another look at these units. I think I was talking about maybe wrapping it up, and I'll probably do that. The Overlords do splash damage. They actually do okay against Wasps, although it really depends on how many numbers you've got on each side. In this case, I'm just going to go lots of Overlords, which should... And I'm going to weight it on this side over here to deal with this. I haven't got any money left over for this. I could take out a loan. There's $200 now. You get $300 later. So it's actually a very bad idea, generally speaking, to do it. But you can do it, and then we could do this, and then we could be like, listen, I'm going to promote... Okay, I don't have enough money to promote all these guys, but I'll go ahead and do this to toughen them up. There you go. And you hit end deployment. And, you know, sometimes you're waiting for the other players, but everyone's taking their moves at the same time, and there is a time limit overall. So yeah, none of the rounds ever take that long, and it's brilliant. And then as soon as you finish, you're like, okay, well, let's do the next one. Possibly even more if you lose, because you're like, oh, this time I'm going to do something different. So you're that much more excited to play one more. You can see the Overlords here, sort of long-range artillery. They hit ground and air. They do a decent amount of damage with their artillery. They can also get, like, with these range upgrades, they shoot pretty far, so they can deal with a surprising number of opponents. Ooh, this tower almost died, but did not. And we're going to go and maybe get some of these middle towers and get this. This is not an example of optimal play, neither in the 1v1 nor here in the Brawl. It was just, let's showcase some things that look kind of interesting. So there we have it. This video's gone a little longer than I hoped. We did do a bunch of multiplayer with Leith and Provis and Ambiguous Amphibian. We specifically did Brawl mode. I was kind of hoping to show that out. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do a separate video, a follow-up video with this, showing some of the gameplay over there. That might be the best way of doing it, because there's a lot to talk about and explain about this game. Again, I feel it's the sort of game you can just jump in without... Like, you can sort of jump in mostly blind, especially if you're just going to start against the AI, but frick it, just go 1v1. Who cares if you lose, right? Doesn't matter. I mean, there's rank, but you're going to start with no rank anyway, so it doesn't matter. Just jump in and learn it, and you can learn a lot of it very intuitively. There's a really nice, subreddit for Mechabellum that people have great discussions in, and things like that. It's nice to see. I go there to see, like, what is the single player meta actually like? Since I don't play it that often, you know, and I'm curious, then I'll go and check that out. I'm going to get the Overlord artillery over here. I'm also going to get the Overlords to spawn wasps. That's quite good, because then they constantly, well, it's 3 times over the course of the battle, but they spawn a few more wasps out, which kind of distracts other units, especially like sniper type units or melting point type units. The little wasps can distract them. And then if I went and actually unlocked my own wasp over here and then put them out on the battlefield and started giving them upgrades, the wasp that the Overlord spawn would get those upgrades as well. In particular, I'd give my wasp the shield upgrade so that they take at least 2 hits to kill, which just really soaks up a lot of enemy fire, which is the point really of the wasp in this particular setup. Anyway, that's it. We're going to end the episode here. Again, thank you very much to Paradox for sponsoring this. Mechabellum 1.0 should be live by the time this video is released. Definitely recommend it. I legit want lots of people to play this, because I want this game to be alive. I want huge numbers of people in here so I can watch other games. I want to watch tournaments. I love watching esports, and I would love watching esports of this. And I kind of want people to, like, when I do my streams on Saturday, I want us to have an eager core of Mechabellum players that will be happy to jump in and do some brawls with me and, you know, beat me up very badly. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.